Hey everyone, James Wilson here with BikeJams.com, and today I wanted to share some more thoughts on drilling to improve your skills on your bike. Yesterday I shared a video going over the best way to use drilling and why it's a waste of time for most riders, especially the way that they're approaching it. And that if you are going to be drilling, you don't want to be focusing on trying to build muscle memory. So make sure that you check out that video if you haven't seen it. But beyond that, when you are working on your drills, I wanted to touch on the difference between a trail skill and a show-off skill. And so when you're working on your drills and you're trying to figure out what do I need to improve, knowing the difference between these two things can help you prioritize things better. Now, what do I mean by this? So a perfect example of this is a manual. So if a rider comes to me and they say, hey, I want to get better at manualing my bike, the first thing I need to know is, well, are you talking about the trail skill or are you talking about the show-off skill, right? On the trail, a simple front wheel lift will take you a lot of places, right? That's pretty much all you need. If you can do a good front wheel lift, you've got the trail skill. Especially if you can do a front wheel lift and then like maybe hold it for a second or two, that's all you need on the trail. Now the show-off skill is hitting a manual and then just riding it down the street for a long distance. It looks impressive, but the reality is it's a show-off skill. It's not really usable on the trail. Once you can do a good manual, you can do a good front wheel lift and hold it for a second or two, you've got everything that you need for the trail. And continuing to invest time, energy, and effort in taking your skill beyond that point, it may or may not be worth it, right? And so another good example of this is bunny hopping. Again, bunny hopping is just a front wheel lift to a rear wheel lift. And if you put something like 2 feet high in front of me, I'm not gonna be able to bunny hop over that real easily. But if there's a trail obstacle on the trail that I need to get up and over, I can do that easily. I can get up and over pretty tall ledges. So there's a big difference between being able to use the front wheel and rear wheel lift in order to operate on the trail at a high level, and then being able to bunny hop, 3-4 feet in the air. And again, that starts to get into a show-off skill. And again, there's obviously some situations on the trail where being able to bunny hop that high would have some advantage, but for the most part, you don't. That's not what we're using on the trail, right? So again, there's just different levels to what we're talking about. Like track stands, another good example. Once you can hold a good regular foot and switch foot track stand for 10-15 seconds, you've got your trail skill that you need. And continuing to take it beyond that, may or may not have a lot of benefit. Working on things like a one-handed track stand, which has pretty much no carryover value to the trail. Again, that starts to get into a show-off skill. And so there's nothing wrong with show-off skills. It's just understanding what they are and whether you want to continue to invest time, energy, and effort into those things. So if someone's like, I got to get better at my manualing, but their basic like front wheel and rear wheel lift, like their basic bunny hop isn't there, then we need to work on that. But once you get a basic bunny hop down, then maybe you want to go back and work on your manual to start converting it into a show-off skill, right? So make sure that you got all your base skills covered. You got all your trail skills covered and that baseline met so that you can use them effectively on the trail. And then you can start worrying about taking certain ones of them and further into what I call, like I said, the show-off skills and doing that. So, but again, I see sometimes riders who have glaring holes in some of their basics, spending time continuing to try to work on things that are, like I said, kind of more in the show-off skill category, and so their riding isn't as good as it could be. So make sure that you kind of understand that and that difference, and it'll help you prioritize your training time and your drilling. So anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this tip, and I'll talk to everybody next time.